This week on the Grant Zone,
see how the Oak Hill baseball team dominated on the mound.
Also see how Madison Grant player Isaac Beatty looks to lead the Argyle baseball team during his senior year.
And Marion Golf looks to tee things off at the beginning of their season. All that and more right here on the Grant Zone.
Hello and welcome to the first edition of the Grant Zone, where we catch you up on everything Grant County sports. I'm Peter Mercer.
And I'm Kyle Udemark, and man, do we have an action-packed show for you today.
That we do, Kyle. Crosstown rivals met at Oak Hill High School as the Marion Giants were looking for their first win of the year against the Oak Hill Golden Eagles. The Golden Eagles were looking to stay undefeated, and senior right-hander Caleb Maggard was on the bump to start the game. After walking the bases loaded in the second, Maggard got out of the jam by forcing an inning-ending ground out to first. That would be the closest that the Giants would get to scoring all day. Maggard was pulled early in the third inning after walking the leadoff man and replaced by senior Christian Livingston. Livingston was dominant, pitching the remaining 5 innings, allowing no hits and striking out 10 while not giving up a walk. The Oak Hill bats came alive in the bottom of the fourth. Senior Tyler Fairchild doubled home 2 runs as the Oak Hill lead grew 3-0. The Golden Eagles only 4 hits on the afternoon, but took advantage on the base paths, stealing 5 bases on 5 attempts to tack on 2 insurance runs late in the game. Oak Hill came away with the victory by a final score of 5-0. The Marion Giants fell to 0-3 on the season, while the Oak Hill Golden Eagles advanced to 4-0.
In order to start the year 4-0, you need strong pitching and a playmaking defense. Oak Hill had just that versus Marion, led by senior pitcher Christian Livingston. The Oak Hill Golden Eagles needed a fresh arm in relief against the Marion Giants after starting pitcher Caleb Maggard walked the bases loaded. Head coach Shane Edwards turned to one of his senior leaders, Christian Livingston, to clean up the mess.
Caleb obviously didn't have his stuff today. We were just having to make a change and look for someone else to find the strike zone for us because, you know, with us defensively, I would say offensively, but not today, we just need to be able to compete and not give them free bases. We had too many walks. Christian came in, was unbelievable. I've been here 14 years. I've seen 1 no-hitter before today, and now I've seen 2.
Livingston shut down the winless Giants offense, mixing an array of pitches. The senior didn't even know what he had accomplished until his coach told him after the game.
Truthfully, I didn't even know it until he said that, but now I'm proud of it. So I'm not even that big of a pitcher. I don't pitch often, except now I probably will, but I haven't even thought about pitching.
Livingston doesn't claim to be a pitcher. However, he knows that after this historic showing, his number will be called on to give the Golden Eagles a boost on the mound whenever they need it. Oak Hill is now 4-0 on the year behind some strong pitching and exceptional defense. Especially in the beginning of the year, it's very important to get the pitching going because soon enough the bats will start heating up for other teams.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, Kyle. And I'm sure seeing a no-hitter in person was fun for you.
Of course, it's something that you don't see every day, so it was really neat to see it in person.
Good. The Eastbrook Panthers took on the Northfield Norsemen in their 4th game of the season. Justin Reese of the Panthers laced an RBI double down the right field line to give the Panthers a 1-0 lead. Pitching was the eventual downfall of the Panthers. Northfield scored 8 runs after the 4th inning and looked to be in control. The Panthers tried to make a comeback by scoring 2 runs and loading the bases with Justin Reese at the plate. The game ended in a double play and an 8-3 loss. The Panthers dropped their 2nd game in a row after starting the season 2-0. We'll now head towards the tennis courts to see Marion have a successful spring season. New year, same team. After winning its conference and sectional championships last year and only losing 1 senior, Marion women's tennis is back to defend its titles. The team is dominant right now with a record of 5-0, and Coach Doug Porter likes to see the team improving.
Work on some of their individual games during practice and give them some pointers, some strategy, technique issues specifically for them. And so as a coach, you always hope they can translate that from practice to a match. So, you know, if we see them implementing some of the things we've talked about in practice into a match as coaches, that's what makes us the most happiest.
The team won the Mount Vernon Invitational this past weekend and continues to climb towards their goal.
You know, one of our goals every year is a conference championship. we've been able to win it 3 years in a row, and so North Central Conference is important to us, and that was our first conference match yesterday against Arsenal Tech. So we hope to do well in the conference again, contend for a championship in the conference, and then hopefully keep improving as a team. And we get near to the end of May when the tournament is. Hopefully we'll be playing our best tennis around the tournament time.
If the team continues on to win a conference championship, it will be their 4th in a row, and they will have won 9 of the last 10.
Winning a 4th consecutive conference championship would be a pretty impressive feat.
It would, Kyle. It would. When we come back, we will take a look at how the Madison Grant Argyles did against the Anderson Indians.
See how senior Isaac Beatty helps lead the Argyle baseball team during his last year. All that just ahead, right here on the Grant Zone.
It's God first, others second, yourself third, which is very simple but very countercultural to what our world is telling you. I mean, most athletes come into a program and say, well, this is about me and what's in it for me. And we've tried to flip that and say, this experience isn't about you, it's about God, it's about others. But the unique and cool thing about it is if you have that perspective, it comes back around to benefit you. That's the focus of this culture, and it's a daily thing for us as coaches to work at that. You know, we're imperfect and we're striving to be that, and we're not always that. But by us setting the tone and desiring that and putting that out front in everything we do, you know, it's bled into every area. I mean, we've got a managerial staff that just does a tremendous job. We've got administration that their focus is on third. We've got players then that want to play I am third. And a lot of people ask us about, you know, the way we play. Well, I feel it's a byproduct of the culture. You know, when we get on the floor, we're playing for each other because our culture is built around that concept. And I think it's a fun way to play basketball.
Welcome back to the Grant Zone. I'm Kyle Udemark. Back to baseball as the Madison Grant Argyles continued their season Wednesday night against the Anderson Indians. The first inning saw the Indians jump out to an early 1-0 lead. A deficit stayed at that mark until the 4th inning when the Airs caught up to the Argyles. The Indians scored 3 runs in the 4th and 2 more in the 5th. Madison Grant tallied 2 runs in the 6th inning, however. That was too little, too late. The game ended with the final score of Anderson 7 and the Madison Grant Argyles 2.
Argyles lost to the Indians. Madison Grant is hopeful for the rest of this season because of one Indiana Wesleyan University prospect. Derek Gowan caught up with senior Isaac Beatty for his final season on the Argyle Diamond. Beatty twice.
Senior Isaac Beatty is one of the reasons the Madison Grant Argyles are hopeful this year. Isaac begins his last season as the Argyles' best player and hopes to make an impact.
At state? Maybe. I mean, it depends. It depends how it all goes down. What draw we get and everything like that.
Coach Cody Riggs says that Isaac is more than just someone to look up to on this team.
I feel like Isaac's our offensive catalyst. I think like tonight he had a slow start, and we just kind of struggled as a team. Yet Westdale, he got off to a hot start. He had 2 good at-bats his first couple, and we just kind of rolled.
There's work, and then there's play. Isaac also knows how to have fun and be the life of the team as well.
If you ask anybody, they're going to tell you that he's the first one there to make you laugh, especially if you're having a tough day or a tough game.
Before he attends Indiana Wesleyan University in the fall, he wants to leave everything he has on the field for the team who started his career and for the game he loves. From Madison Grant High School, I'm Derek Gowan in the Grant Zone.
When we come back, the Marion golf team looks to tee off another successful season.
See how golf coach Mark Hyman looks to prepare his team for another season. Stick around here on the Grant Zone.
On the last episode of Wildcat Week for the season, softball head coach Steve Babinski stops by to talk about how they continue their winning streak over Taylor University. Also, baseball head coach Rich Benjamin joins me to talk about their doubleheader against the Cougars of Spring Arbor. Finally, men's golf coach Austin Conroy comes in to talk about the Wildcat Cup at the Brickyard Crossing. I'm Roger Alcock. Join us on Wildcat Week.
This week on Crossroads, local residents are getting a free ride thanks to city buses.
Earth Day is coming up, and see how you can celebrate at Mater Park.
And step inside the world of James and the Giant Peach at CSA. I'm Randall King.
And I'm Shaylee Clark. It's all new this week on Crossroads.
Grant County's hometown station. This is WIWU TV 51, Marion.
Welcome back to the Grant Zone. I'm Peter Mercer. The Marion golf team is looking to getting off on the right foot this season. Zach Allen caught up with golf coach Mark Hyman to see if they can continue the same success as last year.
It's a sound that you can easily recognize. Golf season is underway for high school spring sports. For schools like Marion High School, their season couldn't have gotten started any earlier for Marion golf head coach Mark Hyman.
I was ready to go about 2 minutes after the season ended last year. So very excited. Kids got better. They're great kids to be around. I feel like kind of like they're my own kids, so it was very exciting.
Marion made it to regionals last year and has all the same players returning. The golf season is no longer frozen out and underwater, but Hyman says that the beginning of the season has been difficult.
We actually had our first real practice last night in probably 9 or 10 days, because we played 3 matches in a row, and then before that, the 5 days previous to that, the weather was terrible.
This has been a stepping stone for most of Hyman's players. With all 5 returning, he says it helps him teach them an important lesson in golf: patience.
Golf will, if you're not patient, golf will teach you patience. You have to learn it. And at 16, 17 years old, that's not an easy thing to teach these kids, but they'll learn. They're getting better at it.
Golf season has gotten through the tough weather to start off the season, but Marion is coming back 5 strong to go even further towards a state championship. In Marion, I'm Zach Allen in the Grant Zone.
About you, Kyle, but with this beautiful weather, I'm ready to play some golf.
Especially with this nice weather we're having, all I want to do when we get to summertime is just get back on that golf course.
That's going to do it for the Grant Zone this week, but we are always looking for more GrantCO sports. So keep an eye on GrantCOnnected.net for the latest.
And follow us on Twitter at GrantConnected for the latest news and sports around the area. If it's happening on the fields and courts of Grant County, we want to stay in the zone. So stay connected with us.
Thanks for watching, everyone. So long.